Hi, my name is Justin DeRoy.
My name is Jesus Fadel Ramirez.
Alright, and you are listening to Movie Fan Geek Out. Hello and welcome for those of you who are either returning or first time listeners. Brief introduction for the show if you've never listened to it before. Basically, me and usually a host will take popular movie topics from the week and we will just discuss them and talk about what we think about them. And then typically we like to end the show with a movie recommendation. Anyway, for this week, Jesus had to phone in his movie segment, so we're going to go ahead and start with his, and then we'll move on to mine. All right.
Hello everyone, my name is Jesus Ramirez. Universal Pictures plans to reboot/relaunch their classic movie monsters such as Dracula, the Mummy, Frankenstein, and the Wolfman in the form of a universe where one way or another the creepy characters will intertwine, much like what Disney has been doing with their Marvel property and Warner Brothers with DC. It is noted that the studio has brought on Alex Kurtzman and Chris Morgan to develop the cinematic experience and write the projects themselves. Kurtzman and Morgan, for those of you who don't know, are the writers behind Star Trek's Transformers, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and the latest three Fast and the Furious movies. The first project already in the works will be an untitled Mummy reboot that is expected to come out in 2016. Personally, even though the news doesn't come as a surprise to me, I kind of welcome it as I'm a fan of these classic movie monsters. My only question is, will the reboots have more of a superhero look, or will they resort towards the classic horror that made them so internationally famous? I personally would prefer to see the latter, seeing as I think we're going to have way too much action packed heroism in our platter for the next decade or so. But that's just me. Let us know what you think on our comments on our comment section if you are indeed listening to us. If not, then boo-hoo to you. This has been Jesus Father Ramirez reporting. Back to you, Justin.
Okay, so just a few comments I wanted to add on to Jesus' segment. First of all, this whole idea of them trying to get together a cinematic a shared universe of all the classic monsters, I personally thought sounded like really cool and interesting idea. Something different from just like these superhero flicks. That are getting a little overwhelming, like with how many are coming out and stuff like that. Like Jesus says, like we're gonna be stuck with like super flicks for like over a decade now. Not that it's a bad thing. I love those movies, but this is an interesting new concept though to have a shared cinematic universe with all the classic monsters. And also, I was gonna add that Jesus was talking about wondering if it could be a darker take. And from what I heard from another news source, that they want to go darker with these ones, especially at least the first one that they're coming out with. He said, it's the Mummy coming out in 2016. I heard they wanted to try and go darker with it. They don't want it to be kind of like a campy action tale like the last one with Brendan Fraser. Not that I didn't like that one either, but I thought it was fun. But I wouldn't mind actually going, the classic kind of dark monster kind of story. So, anyway, can't wait to see what happens with this. Hope it does okay. So, moving on to my movie news topic is there's supposed to be actually in talks of two different biopics about Tolkien. I'm actually going to talk about the second one that is in talks of coming out that's not just really about Tolkien, but the author of Lord of the Rings, but also it's going to be about Tolkien and his relationship that he had with C.S. Lewis, who's most well known for writing the Narnia novels, and really just kind of like shows how they each kind of influenced each other's careers. In fact, there's an interesting story I actually heard once about how once I believe it's Tolkien who had told C.S. Lewis while he was writing his Narnia books that he thought it was crazy that he was mixing all these different mythological creatures. There's numerous different mythical creatures that he has all jumbled up in the Narnia books. But, obviously what's the funniest thing about this is that if you read Hobbit, it's not really much different. So it's kind of funny that he actually criticized C.S. Lewis once on, mixing mythologies, where, he has one of the most popular fantasy books that's, does exactly the same thing. So, yeah, I thought this one sounded far more interesting because, I've heard a lot of interesting stories about, the relationship together and how, they'd influence each other, writing and stuff like that. So, I'm more looking to seeing that fic rather than just the Tolkien one. So yeah, there's my movie news. Anyway, I'll say Jesus, like I said, he's not actually in the studio. He had to phone in his segment, so I'm not going to have a suggestion from him, but I decided to go with an indie film this time for my suggestion. I recently actually got to rewatch again for a class assignment, but this is a really kind of amusing kind of, I don't know, comedic drama, I guess. It's Little Miss Sunshine. It's got a bunch of stars. You got Steve Carell in there and stuff like that. Greg Kinnear. I already said Steve Carell, so I can't think of too many other people's names in the film, but there's some other people you probably recognize. But it's just like an amusing story of this dysfunctional family going on this cross-country trip to get their little daughter to the Little Miss Sunshine beauty pageant. And, along the way, ultimately, with all the crazy antics to get into, it ultimately ends up with them, coming together closer as a family and stuff like that. We're far closer than they've been, stuff like that, because, like I said, they're kind of dysfunctional family that are all, kind of distant from each other for their own reasons. Anyway, so, that will be it for today. Thanks for those of you who tuned in to listen, and hope you tune in again next time. And as always, if you liked what you hear, please share and comment. Goodbye.